Hi, I'm Janet Feld, and I'm the president and founder of Janet's Planet Music Lessons for Humanoids. And today's lesson is all about how to practice. Now I'm going to start with, what do you do if you're a beginner, you haven't been playing for very long, maybe you don't have calluses on the tips of your fingers yet, so you're really not able to play for very long yet. How do you do it? Also, maybe you're wondering if you can still practice your guitar when you're really busy, when you have many things scheduled every day, like most of us overscheduled, over-functioning New Englanders. I would qualify for that category. Now, my motto is scale, song, done. All right, and what I always suggest is that you set an alarm for 10 minutes. You pick 5 days during your week where you're going to schedule in those 5 minutes. I think most of us have schedules that are a little different every day, and even in my crazy busy schedule, I can certainly find 10 minutes. And you set the alarm. I usually use my cell phone just to set the alarm. Find a place to practice that's comfortable for you. If you don't have one, make one. Create one in your home. If you have little kids, wait till they're sleeping, because when they're little they just need you, and they're going to need you even more as soon as you pull out the guitar. Plus they're going to be curious about the guitar and want to play it too. So playing it around them is really good, because you're setting a really great example, and they love it. Kids love guitars and strumming them and doing that sort of thing. But for your practice time, give yourself some time after they're sleeping. So the first thing is, I always like to start my students off with a really simple scale. It's called a chromatic scale, which sounds kind of like something you would need to take antibiotics for. Why didn't you come to work today? Oh man, I was home with a chromatic scale. But when you're moving, in terms of notes, when you're moving from fret to fret on the guitar, you call the distance between those notes are called half steps. If you skip a fret, that's called a whole step. On a piano, when you move from a white key to a black key that's right next to it, black key to a white key that's right next to it, those are half steps. White key to a white key with a black key in between, black key to a black key with a white key in between, those are whole steps. And on the piano, between E and F and B and C, there's no black note there, so between these notes, and this is moving in either direction, those are half steps. So there's no B sharp or C flat, E sharp or F flat. It just goes from E to F, B to C. All right, and that's the same is true on any instrument, and it's good to check out a keyboard and look at. I'm actually, with this video, I'm attaching a photograph of a document with a piano and the notes written on it, so you can see it in black and white, because I think it makes it easier to understand once you see it in black and white. So here's what happens. You're going to start, you're going to hold your pick in what I call the Rajiv rectangle, and some of my kids that I teach, they call it, I'm putting on my Rajiv. So put on your Rajiv and hit your E string open, which means that you are playing it without any fingers on it. First finger, first fret. Second finger, second fret. I'm doing all down picks. Third finger, third fret. Fourth finger, fourth fret. You're going to want to use your third finger over there because it's stronger than your fourth finger. Don't do it. If I was with you in the room, I'd yell at you, because part of the deal is you're trying to make your pinky stronger, because you want a strong pinky for guitar playing. A string open. 1, 2, 3, 4, open on the D. 1, 2, 3, 4, open on the G. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when I have my finger on the 4th fret on the G string, the note I'm playing is a B. And here's the B string. They're the same. So because I've already played the B, when I get to the B string, I'm just going to put my finger right on the 1st fret, and I'm not going to play it open because I don't need to. And 2, and 3, and 4, high E, open, 1, 2, 3, 4, leave your finger there. Now we're going to go backwards, alright? So now you got your 4th finger on the 4th fret. Now let's go backwards, back to the 3, same string, 2, 1, open, 4th finger, 4th fret on the B. Notice how on the guitar you've got these dots here, right? I've got one on 3 and one on 5. A lot of guitars have your first dot on the 5th fret here. So the fret right before your first dot, or in between 2 dots, if you have a 3 and 5 dot, that's where your 4th finger goes, all right? Think of dots like the cones in the gym, you know, the orange cones, so that the teacher puts down so you know where to throw the ball and where to run. That's what these dots are. So you know which fret you're on, and B dot dependent. It's really good. All right, here we go. 4 on the B. 3, 2, 1, D string, 4th fret, 3, 2, 1, open, 4th finger on the D string, 3, 2, 1, open, 4 on the A, 3, 2, 1, open, 4, 3, 2, 1, and open. All right, so that's a great scale to start out with if you've never played scales before, because it gets your fingers used to 1st finger 1st fret, 2nd finger 2nd fret, 3rd finger 3rd fret, and 4th finger 4th fret. With my beginning students, I generally have them play that scale for just the first week, sometimes for 2 weeks, and after that we move on to the major movable scale. And I do that because I just want you to get used to those fingering, and also the scale is pretty dull. So, you know, just truth in advertising there. It's not an interesting scale. There's other scales that are much more interesting. But it's a great place to start, just to get that comfortable, get comfortable with the fingering. All right, so let's say you've just learned that scale and you're sitting down to practice. You've also just learned one song, and you're going to practice that song. So at my first lesson with people, we learn the chromatic scale, then we learn the Amazing Grace with an A chord, a D chord, and an E chord. And you can actually download my lesson for free. If you're not already on my list, you can sign up on my mailing list, and I'll send you that first lesson for free. You learn 3 chords, a strum pattern, and you'll play Amazing Grace through once slowly. And you know, you'll have the video so you can practice with the video. It also teaches you just some basic stuff about navigating sheet music, which is really helpful. So if you're already on my mailing list and you haven't received that lesson from me, just write to me, and I'd be happy to send it to you. Now, if you've learned Amazing Grace, I'm going to start there, then you practice playing that song. You can either, just practice, give yourself the time you need to switch the chords, right? Check your chord chart. If you're not used to reading chord charts, you're not used to playing chords yet, give yourself a second or more, whatever time you need. It's not a race. And slowly but surely make your way through the song. And you're playing your E chord. Now, one of the ways that you can practice the song is before you start strumming, you can give your right hand a rest and you can just look at your fingers and practice switching from A to D, A to D, A to D. Do that like 10 times. If you do it more than that, your brain will just shut down, right? And then A to E, D to E. Do that 10 times each. That can really, really help. However long it takes, it's okay. Now, here's the thing. I always want you to treat yourself during a practice session as if you have a 10-minute date with your very best friend, your most favorite person on the whole planet. Because if you only had 10 minutes with them, you wouldn't interrupt the visit to check your email, check your Facebook, return a text message, throw in a load of wash, do the dishes. You're not going to do that because it would hurt their feelings, A. And B, you don't want to do that to yourself because this is your most favorite person on the planet. And you only have 10 minutes with them. So that's how you're going to treat yourself when you sit down. It's this little present you're going to give yourself when you sit down to practice. And during that time, after 10 minutes, if you've been playing long enough so you have calluses and you feel like you can play longer than 10 minutes, if you feel like it and you have the time, certainly practice more, but please remember that it's not a moral issue. You're not a better person if you practice longer. You've just practiced longer, which is a good thing, but it's not bad if you don't. If you practice 5 days a week, 10 minutes a day, scale, song, done, you'll be amazed at how quickly you progress because it's the repetition day after day that really makes a difference. Now, given my busy schedule, that's how I practice too. Sometimes I'll schedule more than one small session during a day depending on what I'm working on. But everybody has a learning curve. The longer you play, your learning curve will get shorter, but it won't go away. Even Eric Clapton has a learning curve. It's probably harder to detect, but he makes mistakes too, and it's just harder to notice with somebody at that level. But we all have one. So I hope that helps and helps make however you practice easier, more manageable, something that's doable for you and able so you can fit it in to your busy schedule and help you enjoy playing the guitar as quickly as possible. All right, happy playing.